To start off, I would love for everyone to close their eyes for a second. Think about your life up to this point. Who has been the most influential person in your life? Why were they influential? What exactly did they do that left an impact on you? Now open your eyes. The person you thought of had an impact on you because of something they taught you. Let me tell you about the person I thought of. When I was in high school, I met a college student that invested a lot of her time into getting to know me. Her name was Savannah Saul, but I called her Savvy. Although she didn't have the title of being a teacher, she left me with the most significant learning experiences. A lot of people don't have the label of teacher, but I think that we are all teaching and learning from one another every day. My friend Savvy is a master at asking questions. When I first met her, she threw so many questions at me. They related to my current interests, past hurts, family circumstances, schoolwork, and my friendships. I remember getting Starbucks with her and not knowing how to answer some of her questions because I had never been asked. I had recently got out of my first relationship that left me feeling physically used and not enough as a person. I was going through a dark place in my life and would later be diagnosed with depression and anxiety. There was something about Savvy that was so appealing and comforting in those moments. I wanted to spend more time with her. I didn't really know it at the time, but her questions were what were so appealing to me. Questions are how we develop relationships with other people. I have taken this method and utilized it within my Saturday art class. I've been teaching preschoolers and kindergartners all semester. They're hilarious, bluntly honest, and so insightful. I'm blown away every class by their creativity and thoughts about the world. One of my students always tells me about the animals he sees throughout the week. During class one morning, we were talking about murals. He raised his hand to answer a question I had asked, and to my surprise, told me about how he saw a deer carcass on the way to class. I couldn't help but laugh because it was completely off topic, but so pure. My funny interactions with him have turned into conversations about how he can create art about all the different animals he loves. Almost every class, a student will utilize the materials I have given them in a way I never expected. For one of our projects, students were supposed to put their handprint on their artwork and then include 3 symbols to represent what they like about the art classroom. One of my students used multiple handprints to create a circle. I asked him about it, and he told me that he combined his handprints to make a symbol. The circle of hands represented how he likes working together with other students in the art classroom. His response moved me. There was something so beautiful about the way he thought through this decision. Another class period, we talked about how people exist all over the world. My students chimed in about how not everyone speaks the same language as us. They make these awesome connections to their lives from our lessons. Time and effort are required to develop and keep a relationship with anyone. A lot of teachers get to know their students at the beginning of the year with get-to-know-you worksheets. However, I think that teachers can slack off as the year goes on. Continuing to ask questions about what is going on in their life is almost more important than the beginning of the year. We need to make sure that we are continually reminding students that we care about them. Not only asking questions, but remembering students' answers to those questions is where everything can change. After knowing Savvy for a little while, she asked if we could hang out on my birthday. A while back, I had briefly mentioned how I had always wanted someone to bring me chocolate-covered strawberries for my birthday. Edible arrangements were all the rage at that time. When she picked me up from school, I got in her car, and a beautiful box filled with chocolate-covered strawberries and a very kind letter were sitting on the seat. I couldn't even remember when I had told her I wanted this, but she made it a point to remember. This moment still means more to me than I can describe. During my Saturday art class, I will go around and help students on their art, but also make sure to ask some questions about their life. Every class has also consisted of a group conversation between the students and I. These conversations have really helped establish friendships and a classroom community. Their learning is enhanced by the relationships that are being built. I make sure to write things down on a paper that students are telling me about. This has been helping me get to know students within a shortened time period. I've figured out at least one thing that each student is interested in. This has helped me have conversations with them and show that I want to care about what they care about. I'm not always interested in the same things, but I can learn to better appreciate different topics by learning from them. Savvy was absolutely not interested in my high school drama, but she cared enough to listen and try to understand. Our empathy is increased when we do so. We, as teachers, need to continually learn how to better empathize with other people's life experiences. Effective teaching comes through sharing life and experiences. I believe that the best thing we could ever do is share our lives with one another. In order to truly learn something from someone that lasts, there has to be a level of respect and relationship. As a future art educator, I believe that investing in our students' lives and sharing about our own is where the most transformative learning happens. This comes from the mutual exchange of life experience, knowledge, and thoughts. We learn just as much, if not more, from our students than we teach them. The longevity of my relationship with Savvy has been possible because we both have an appreciation for each other now. Just a couple years ago, Savvy got married and asked me to be one of her bridesmaids. Getting to be a part of this big event in her life meant the world to me. Savvy has always asked me questions, but she has also always shared her life with me. She let me in on things I never dreamed of. She shared her own experiences with breakups, her family's financial situations, and what she was learning about in her kinesiology college classes. I have learned a ton of different life lessons from Sav, but the biggest one has been that I'm of great value to this world and have a purpose that no one else can fulfill. She taught me that our friends are worth everything we can offer. Every minute of our time, every cent from our small bank account, and the few hours of sleep sacrificed to listen and comfort them. The same goes for our students. Every single student is of great value to this world and has a purpose that no one else can fulfill. They are worth everything we can offer to them. Remember the person you thought of when I had you close your eyes? You can be that person for someone else. You don't have to be a teacher to have an influence on someone else's life. I challenge you to invest in someone's life, build a relationship, and see what learning experiences come out of it. Thank you.